I was thinking about, with respect to your work, whether your visual art or your music, which appeal most to my personal sense of aesthetics. And then it hit me that, especially recently, those are the sides where I became aware of emotional sides to you that piqued my curiosity in different ways. With respect to your music, I was thinking about the song Reality Check. That is my favorite song of yours because it shows the same raw emotion I felt after my tour at my place that I'm not sure I ever saw elsewhere, underneath the reason. Through my eyes, it seemed like your most raw and personal song, and it felt really strange to make my own remix of it that I'd call My Name is Philly because of that. But it's how I started creating my own songs again. And you became my muse. So your brain always intrigued me, but your emotional world I had no notion of, besides a few cracks here and there, until that song. I'm talking about the kind of empathy that makes you grunge to learn to like some humans while still hating humanity as a concept, for most part. Visually, it's where I saw Shroud's sisterly friendship turning into what I would call primal desire turn into what the same sisterly love with just a physical dimension to it. This is how I see romance. Always has. Sometimes the friendship comes first. Sometimes it starts with romance and ends with friendship. Sometimes you just don't define things and see where things lead you. That's my favorite approach these days. Again, trust the process. Any goal is the right goal. And life is the right life.
Any choice is the right choice.
Even the bad ones. Don't listen to reason only, or emotion only, but find a path that's a balance between both and only define your goal when you reach it. Again, my eyes. Doesn't need to be yours, but that's where my life led me to. Shroud didn't choose, she followed where her life led her to. Her life was the right life. Even the bad parts. In between Ferretta and the guy who held her on her wedding night, just holding her for as long as she needed, eventually giving her 2 kids. Except for the 2 kids part, I see I relate with both types of love. You seem to resonate mostly with the wedding night part because raw emotion in this world seems mostly alien to you. And I suppose the Christian notion of sexuality before marriage is a sin, mistake, foolishness makes sense in life of that. So there's a very practical notion of sexuality being meaningful only in context of marriage and procreation. One of several reasons I call Sarah my first real love is that one of our first nights together ended in the wedding night way. Literally falling asleep in each other's arms. After a similar kind of differential connection I had few pictures. Prior to that, we quite literally just fell asleep holding each other in each other's arms, which felt special. I loved the line. But she also had a beautiful figure. She was 17, I saw 19, brought out another aspect of love, which felt just as pure, just as true, just as right. This is, by the way, that I learned that a B cup is roughly a handful, and how I learned to appreciate both the feeling and the aesthetics of the female breast I never felt before, even as a teenage boy. If you learn to develop your emotional side in this world, the one I saw in Reality Check, I hope one day you will be able to feel the same way with whoever becomes your husband. It sure changed my perception of love, as did every woman after her, but she was the closest thing to the full package. She was a beautiful person, and all three lovers. It was 19, had barely any experience with romance, and was a fool. I let her slip away and present me with one again, maybe +25.